Thursday, April 20th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So I'd like to talk about the French presidential election. I think it could be quite important for the financial markets all around the world. And why do I say that? Well, it's a little bit like the Brexit vote, in my opinion, even though it's a presidential election. And one of the candidates, Marine Le Pen from the National Front, or Front National, as the French say, she wants to take France out of the, not only out of the euro, but out of the European Union. And she's not, and I'm not for her or anything. I'm neutral, as far as politicians are concerned or elections. The only reason why I cover this is to try to, figure out what's going on in the world, how things could affect markets and, the gold price or the silver price or currencies, the stock market. I think this French presidential election is a battle between the globalist forces, the corporate government, and you can call it fascist because the big corporations in charge of government is some kind of fascism, against the nationalist forces. And I'm not saying the nationalist forces are any better either. It will just mean that there's more uncertainty in the world. Personally, I believe, yes, people are nationalistic, but and they associate to certain cultures and everything. I'm not disputing that. But in my opinion, we have a bubble in politics and the so-called democracy. I think it's, people give it too much importance, in my opinion. There's a lady the other day in the UK, her name's Brenda. She's become really famous when Prime Minister May announced she was going to call for snap elections. She was just walking down the street and a reporter asked her, oh, did you hear we got snap elections on June the 8th? And she was like, really irate and upset. She said, I'm sick and tired of all this politics. I don't want another election. But, in the end of the day, it reflects the mentality that people still think that the state and governments and democracy are going to look after themselves until people, get away from this belief that they need someone, big brother or a welfare state to look after themselves. Politics is not going to get any better. The only hope I had was Ron Paul. I think he's a real, small government guy. And I don't think he would have, let's say if he would have won the election in 2012 or 2008, I don't think he would have flipped like Donald Trump is flipping right now. I mean, the verdict's still out for Donald Trump, but it doesn't look good. I think he's been, his administration looks to have been hijacked by the globalists, but that's still up in the air right now. I'm talking about the French election. Will Marine Le Pen will she, if she wins, will she flip like Trump? I don't know, but the French election presidential election is unusual because they have a first round. They've got, several candidates. I don't know how many. They've got like at least, let's say 1, 2. They've got Nicolas Dupont, Marine Le Pen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They've got about 11 candidates on April 23rd on Sunday. And then the top 2 will have a runoff on, let's see, I think it's May the 7th. The top 2 candidates will run off, and whoever wins that becomes the president. So why do I say it's a globalist against nationalist forces? Well, one of the guys who's running and is actually leading the polls right now is a fellow by the name of Emmanuel Macron. And if you look at his pedigree or CV on Wikipedia, it says here, which is really interesting, and I'll read from Wikipedia. Emmanuel Macron is a French politician, senior civil servant, and former investment banker. Born in Amiens, he studied philosophy at Paris Nanterre University, completed a Master's of Public Affairs at Sciences Po, and later graduated from École Nationale d'Administration. He's in 2004. He's in the French. That's like the Harvard, Princeton, Yale, all put together of France. All the, big politicians, big civil servants, they go to this school, École Nationale d'Administration, and they call them énarques. He's an énarque. It's like Oxford and Cambridge in the UK put together. And then it goes on to say he went on to become an inspector of finances in the Inspectorate General of Finances before becoming an investment banker at Rothschild and Company Bank. So he worked for the Rothschild family in France, the French Rothschilds. Some of you might know the Rothschilds started out in the early 1800s, and the patriarch of the Rothschilds, I think he was Amschel Rothschild, he sent his 5 sons all over Europe, one of them to Paris, one to London, one to Vienna, one to Naples, and one stayed in Frankfurt. So that was globalization, the birth of globalization there. So it's interesting that the candidate for globalization in France worked for the Rothschilds, and it also says that he went to, let's say here, he was educated mostly at the Jesuits de la Providence Lycée in Amiens. So he's also Jesuit educated. He's worked for the Rothschilds. So yes, this guy is a globalist. And the other interesting thing, when I covered Brexit last year and also the U.S. election, I was giving people indications of what the spread betting firms in London were, the chances they were giving for Brexit, to leave or remain, and for Hillary or Trump to win. And in both those cases, IG Index was giving like almost 2/3 chance for Hillary to win, and 2/3 chance for, even 3/4 chance for Remain to win the referendum to leave the EU. And I'm not surprised here looking at the markets here, the politics market it's called. Emmanuel Macron, to become the next president, he's 54 bid at 60. So, more than half, 50% chance of winning. Marine Le Pen is only 19 bid at 25. So they don't give her any chance. So I think it will be interesting to see what happens. IG Index and the punters, so to speak, they've been wrong. They were wrong about Brexit, and they were wrong about the U.S. election. Will they be wrong about the French election? Will it matter if Le Pen wins? Will she really take France out of the EU and out of the euro? Will she flip like Trump seems to be flipping? We'll have to see. But it could really rock the financial markets. Maybe not next week, because, we're still going to have a second round runoff on May the 7th. But depending on the results and who are the first two, if Marine Le Pen looks set to have a good chance of winning the second round, we could see fireworks next week in the markets. So that's the situation in France, and I'll keep an eye on it for the viewers and the subscribers of this channel, and we'll have to see what happens. One thing's for sure, though, you know, if we really want change and if we really want less politics, it's going to depend on each individual to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and not to expect everything, you know, not to expect government and the state to look after themselves. And with that, I'll kind of reference an old French philosopher, economist from the 19th century, Frederick Bastiat. He died in 1850, and he was a libertarian, and he was fighting against the forces of, collectivism that was coming up in that time. And he said, the state is the fiction, is the fiction of the idea that everyone can live, at the expense of everyone else. That's what the state is. It's the illusion. It's not the fiction, sorry. The illusion that everyone can live, on the back of everyone else. That's the state. Sorry, it was a little bit convoluted. I don't read from anything. It just comes from my mind. But that's it. So really interesting, I think. Even though politics is in a bubble, as I said, we still need to look at it. And let's see what happens on Sunday. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Share it far and wide. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And if you'd like to donate to my channel, there's some links below in the description. I'll talk to you later. Bye.